Hello everyone, welcome back to DMP Tech. I'm excited to bring you the another video in our SSIS tutorial series. If you haven't watched the previous videos yet, I will highly recommend you to watch. It will give you a solid foundation and boost your confidence in working with SSIS. But don't worry, if you're joining us, we will be covering everything from the scratch today. But I will highly recommend you to watching the entire video as many of the key insights and explanation are found in the middle of the video and at the end of the video. You might miss the important detail if you don't watch the all the way through. Also, guys, if you are enjoying my content and finding it helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It is free for you, but this gives us a lot of motivation to create a unique content for you guys. Your support means a lot to us and help the channel to grow. Also, hit a like button and press the bell icon to get my updated video notification. And share this video with your friends and colleagues who might be benefited from learning SSIS. So let's begin with the topic. In today's video, we will going to learn the incremental data load from the file to SQL Server. For all that, we will going to use SSIS and store procedure in SQL Server. So first, I will start with the scenario, what we will going to cover. So you can see on my screen, I have created a simple workflow that we will going to cover in this tutorial. So we will have a file. In that file, the file name would be the superstore, the sample superstore file. So it will have a basic details of the row ID, order ID, and order details, sales quantity, and profit. That information we wanted to store in the SQL Server database through by taking the help from the SSIS. So this is what the flow would be. First, we will take the information from the file and we will use the SSIS to do the ETL, and eventually we will land all the information to our SQL Server. I hope you got the scenario that we will going to cover. In this first, so now first I will show you the data set that we will going to use. So this is a sample superstore CSV file we have. I have kept the minimum number of records so that it will be easy for us to go through all the records that we have. So we have a 16 record in this file, and these are the columns that we have. Okay. Now we will move to SSIS application. So this is a Visual Studio wherein we will going to build the entire flow for SSIS. Okay. And then eventually I'll show you the tables that we have. So we will have the three table with us. The one table will be the audit log. Basically, in this table, we want to cover, how much, what is the process and what is the table name and whether the record is inserted or whether we have updated the record and what is the status. So all this, from the audit log perspective, we will going to create the audit log of whatever we will going to move the data from file to SQL Server. You will going to understand when we will do it practically. So don't worry if you don't understand. Now, the second table that we have is the sample staging. So if you don't know, I'll let you know so like staging table is something like the short, you can say that the temporary table that we wanted to create where all the raw information will be saved. And your final data set would be, we will use for the reporting and other client informations. Okay. I hope you understand this. So what we will do is first from SSIS, we will put all the information into the staging table. And from staging table to the final source, we will going to put the store procedure in the middle so that, we can make sure the data is loaded as a incrementally. Okay. If you have not understood this, don't worry. When I will do it practically, you will going to understand this. Okay. So these are the three tables. You can see that there's no information in these three tables now. So what we will do first, we will create a workflow that, in SSIS. So this will be the simple step, that in my previous video, I have covered this also. So I will repeat the same steps that I have done in the my previous, videos. So in the control flow, I'll drag the data flow right over here. I have already created a connection over here so that I don't have to waste a time for you guys. So I've already created a connection over here. So first step toward in SSIS is creating a connection that I have already created. Now I will drag the data flow task over here. Okay. And I will double click on that and it will take me to the data flow. So here we can build all the entire ETL process over here, right? So first we want to transfer the information from the file. So we will take a flat file over here. Okay. So now I will double click. I can take this one and maybe I can do the data. Yes, so it is a correct one. So basically, I'm just checking if all the columns have underscore, after there should not be any space in your header. Okay, that's what I'm making sure over here. So now this is done. I'll click on OK. And now I have maybe data conversion in the middle. So I'll just bring data conversion over here. I'll connect to this. I'll just double click on this. I know that, from my first and second row is not, these are the string, but my row ID should be integers and my order ID should be, n varchar. Okay. So here I will just select the float over here. So where is the float? So here is a float, and here maybe I need to select n varchar. This is this one. Okay, the Unicode string WSTR is this one. Maybe I'll keep a length of 200 and I'll click on it. Maybe I need to, rename this column. Maybe I can just put C that is converted. And here I will just put C. You can put any name that you want, but I'm just putting C. C means converted. Okay. And I'll put on OK. Now I will bring my destination. So in my destination, I need to transfer this to SQL Server. So for SQL Server, it is OLADB destination. I'll connect to OLADB destination. I'll double click on this. Here, my server name is, this one. I'll click on OK. Here, I can just select table. And here, I want to transfer this to staging table, as I said. So sample staging. Okay. And I'll come to mapping. And here in the mapping, you know that we have done two data conversion. For row ID, I'll take the revised column, that is C row ID. And for order ID also, I'll take the new column. Okay. So this is done. You can see all is sorted here. Maybe I can come to control flow. Here I can just rename this. I can click and I can put data load. Okay. So this is my first flow, right? And what I can do, I can just close the file over here, right? And I can run my flow. Okay. This is just a one flow. So I can right click and click on execute task. Okay, now my flow is successfully ran. Now I can come here and I can check my staging table, right? So if I execute this, you can see that the 16 record has been added over here. And if I execute everything, so you can see the middle table, the staging table has the information from the file. But now we want to do some kind of transformation and we need to transfer this data to the final file for the reporting, right? Okay. So for that, what we will do for the incremental load, we will create a store procedure. So I have already created a store procedure over here, just to save a time. Maybe I will explain the code, whatever I have written over here so that it will be easy for us. Okay. So here what I'm doing, basically, I'm just creating a store procedure for the incremental data load. So this is the create and alter means it will create if the store procedure is not exist. And if it is exist, then it will alter the procedure. Okay. And this is the procedure name. You can put any name, but here I have given a name like SP incremental, incremental load sample store. This is the this is the, that we need to put. And we have to give the here we are just declaring, as we know that while creating a procedure, we have to declare the variable over here. So variable is always start with @ symbol. And here I'm just giving a summary of changes, summary of changes table, and then whatever will change, it will appear over here. Okay. Now then we will give the merge, we will use a merge statement over here. So the merge statement is a statement provided by SQL. So it is especially used for the incremental data load. If you want to compare the two sources, then the merge statement can be used. Okay. Okay. So sample superstore is a target table for us, and sample staging is a source because all the information right now available in source, right? That is the staging table. So this table will become a source for us, and this sample superstore, right? So this table will become a target table for us. Okay. So here we are just using the merge statement and we are giving this, the target table as a target. Over here we are mentioning using the sample staging, that is source table, as a source. Okay. And here we are just giving the primary key over here. If you see, the row ID is present in source as well as target. So this is a similar syntax, which we use in join. So if you see over here, the row ID is present over here also, and in the source table and target table in both the tables. So that's why we are giving this logic over here. When it is matched, okay, then over here we are using The hash byte function. The hash byte function, SHA1, algorithm, we are using it over here just to compare the each column over here. So here I am not comparing the each column, but I am using the few column only. That is row ID, order ID, customer ID, and the customer name, right? So only four column I am using, but you can use all the columns because I have put only the four columns over here. But if I put like if I updated any information other than to this columns, it will not capture, it will not update that information. So I will highly recommend you. You can just take all the column that you have, but make sure the hash bytes is only taking the text, right? That is a varchar and varchar characters. It is not working for the integers, right? So for integers, what we need to do is we need to convert the integer to the varchar. So if you see this one, right, this row ID that was an integer, and for hash bytes, since it is only accepting the text or the varchar and varchar, so I need to convert this to the n varchar over here. Okay. So I hope you got the logic. We can use a cast function to convert, the row ID to the n varchar. So this is a very simple syntax that you can take. For example, if the profit, discount, quantity, so these all are the float or integers type data type, right? So you need to convert all these columns to to the n varchar because the hash byte is only using that. And also you can, if you don't want to take the hash byte route, what you can do is you can also take this route wherein you can just put, the columns over here. So for example, this one, say for example, this one, okay? So you can take this one, not equal to, right? Not equal to this and something like that. You can take this also. And maybe you can just put and keyword and you can take the another column that you have. Okay. So another column like this, over here, if you put like this, okay, not equal to. Okay. So you can do like this also, but here I'm taking, this one. Why I'm taking this one? Because I want to compare the columns, right? If there is any, update, if we update any information in the existing table, then we want to flag it over here. Okay. So when this record is matched, okay, when this after the merging, if this is matching, right, this condition is matching, when it is matched, then what we need to do, we need to update the table. Okay. What we need to update? So this is our target table. So we need to update the target table with the source. Okay. So we are instructing to the SQL that if this condition is fulfilled, okay, then if it is not equal to, right, if like this column, this is the target table is not equal to, because here we are giving the not equal to the source one, okay, the source information, then we need to update whatever there in the source, just update in the target table. Okay. I hope you understand this. Okay. So when this condition is matched, okay, then we will going to check whether the target table, whatever information we have in this particular columns, is not equal to whatever the information there in the source, right? Then we need to update this with the source. Okay. This is a target, and here we need to update with the source. Okay. And for example, when it is not matching, by the target, then what we need to do, we need to insert a new rows. Okay. So this is the, the new inserted columns, and with the select the source one. Okay. So if it is not matching, then we need to insert the new record, whatever the new record is came in the source. So this is the new inserted columns, and this is the selected column that we have. Okay. Then in the output, we need to put everything in the summary of changes, that is the variable that we have over here. Okay. So everything will be, all the output will be saved in summary of changes. Okay. And here we are just giving the condition that select the change, and the count as a percentage for the summary of changes and group by changes. Okay. Then in the final syntax, what we are doing is, we are just, over here you have seen the three tables, right? The audit logs table. So we need to fill this audit log also, like how much record, is updated and how much new record is added and how much is updated. So here we are just giving, the incremental load. Here we are just adding the values, right? So in the first column, it will update the process, that is incremental load. And in the second, here in the table column, it will update the sample superstore. And in the third column here, we are giving the logic like select the count, right? The total count from the summary of changes. So here we are storing the summary of changes. So here we are just giving if it is inserted, then put it in this column. Okay, inserted column, record inserted column. And if we are like if anything is updated, then just put in the updated column over here. And status would be like mark this as a completed. So here these are the hard code logic that we are providing. Okay. And get date is nothing but the current date that we have. We will get a current date over here. So I hope you understand the logic, what we are trying to do in the store procedure. Now our store procedure is created successfully. Now what we will do is we will going to execute this store procedure. So what I will do is I'll go to my SSIS. Okay. So here I have created, this execute SQL task, and I have given the connection over here, and I have just inputted the SQL query. It is a simple query, execute store procedure name. Okay. Now what I will do is I'll just run this flow. I'll just execute this process. Okay. Now my flow is successfully run. Now I'll come to my database. Here I'll just select with this three table and I'll execute it. So you can see in my audit table, audit log table, I have inserted 15 record and there's zero record updation because everything is from the scratch, right? So here we have 15 record, and in the final database also we have a 15 record. So now let's take another scenario. So in the another scenario, what we want to do is we will just update the few records that we have, and we will see if everything from the staging table, whether it is updating all the record and it is only updating the updated one. Okay. So let's change something in the file. Okay. So this is my file. I'll open this file. Okay. So here, let's say we will change this information. Maybe let's change the customer name over here. Okay. So here we will just change these three names. Here I'll just put maybe Sandy, Tarun, and John. Okay. So I'm just updating three information over here. Okay. I'll save this. Okay. Now what I will do is I'll come to SSIS and I will run this flow, and let's see what will happen. I'll come here and I will execute this package. Okay, my flow is successfully ran. Now I will come to my database. Now what I'm expecting is in my staging table, it should add all the 16 record again. Okay. But in the final table, it should not add all the 30 record. It should be only be 15 record, and whatever we have updated, it should update, those information only, whatever we have updated in the table, in the file. Okay. So now let's see. So if I execute these three tables, you can see now it has created another record in the audit table. And here it is saying there's zero record inserted. But in the record updation, it is happened three. Okay. And if you remember, we have updated the three records. So if you see over here, it is sorted by row ID. So you can see the 30 information, 30 record in the staging table, but only the 15 record, in the final source table. And the Sandy, Tarun, and John, is updated over here. Okay. So I hope you understand the logic, how strong the store procedure is over here. Now let's take a third scenario wherein we want to update a new records. Okay. So what I will do is maybe I can just create few records in the file. So here I have until 16 I have a record. So I have already created a copy of the sample superstore. Maybe I can just take from 17 to let's say I'll take 30, 40, up to 40 I will take. Okay. Here I can just paste. Okay. So you can assume that in the second day file, you got a 40 deal and you already have the 16 deal which you have already received. And in the second day file, you have received the new deals. Okay. the new information in your file, in your source file. So how it will happen? Okay. So I'll just save this. I'll close this file. Okay. Now let's see how it will happen. I'll go to SSIS. I will run the package. I'll right click on the package and I'll click on execute package. Okay, now the flow is successfully run. I'll come to my database. I'll just click on this. Okay, so you can see the 24 record has been added and 3 record is updated. Okay, in the final table, you can see that whatever was, whatever was duplicate, it is ignored that one, and it has taken, the updated one. Okay, so until 40, we have this record in the final source file. Okay, but in the staging table, it will have a lot of information, right? Okay, because here, as and when we are running the SSIS package, it is duplicating the record in the staging area. And this is important also because we want all the data in the staging table as and when the information is coming into your database, everything should be there in your server, right? In the SQL server. That's what we need, a staging table. And in the final table, we need a clean data, right? For the reporting. So it should not give the incorrect information. So that's why the staging table is coming. So I hope you are getting it, why staging is required and why the final information is required. So this information, which is the sample store information, we can create a dashboard on this information because this is a very clean information for us. Okay. So only the required information is we are getting over here. And in the staging table, you can see that there are duplicate record as well. So we cannot use the staging table for any reporting. Okay. So this is just a temporary table we have created for ETL purpose. Okay. Now I hope you got the logic. So that's all for this video. If you like this video, please hit a like button and share this video to the maximum people who want to learn how ETL works and how the data engineering works is happening in the industry. Thank you so much for your time.